used my finger a lot lately. I don't know what that's about. Anyway. Well, this would be the sort of time when a customer would message you and say, oh, I've changed my mind, mate. I think we'll just go with the guard rolling. And I'd be like, well, I guess we can glue it back in. All right, guys, so I'm rolling the guards on a couple of Commodores today. First up off the ranks is a VN. So he's got 22s on it, and it's hitting on the inside and the outside. So yeah, I've got to give him wheel clearance. It's going to be a bit of a mission. It's kind of not really like, I did one, which he's seen the video on a VN where the outside gets rolled and then the outside inner lip gets put in, but he actually needs that done. Plus he needs the inside same thing done. So I need to check out my clearances and see what I can do there. And then I have another car that's meant to be coming in today, which is a VE Clubby, I think, from memory, which I'm just doing the rear guards on. But anyway, let's get into it. So as you can see, it's like fully sitting hard against the inside of the car, and it's like stock height. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a mission to make this work. I need to just sort of get my head around it a bit, because I might have to, it kind of looks like it really needs to be mini-tubbed. It's not so much of a guard rolling job than it is a mini-tub job, which I can do, but it's kind of not really what he asked for. It's a little bit more work than what was first thought. But anyway, I'll yeah, keep having a bit of a look at it and I'll let you know. So, because of the amount he's shortened his diff, usually, like I said, I'd take roll a bit out of the guard, and then roll the guard, and then whack that bit there in a bit more. But this actually kind of needs to be mini-tub, so just like running through a few options. His key doesn't work in the boot, so I don't know whether there's another key for the boot or not, but yeah, just need to get the boot open so I can have a bit of a look. So I don't know whether those photos make any sense, but I thought I'd rather than text you, I'll just ring you. So basically, because it's been shortened so much, usually I can get a 255 up with no spring in with the right offset. But because the diff's been shortened, it's pulled the wheel in quite a lot. From here, what you'd usually do is you'd slice the whole guard liner out, like the whole tub inside, move it across an inch and then add an inch in, which is a mini tub. So unfortunately, this is the joys of my job. I've kind of got to give people the hard news sometimes, but the ball's in his court, to be honest. I've always been someone, if you bring a car to me and I can't do the job that I thought I could do for you, well then I just won't charge you no matter how much time I've spent on it. In this case, I try and always, whenever I get a car in that's got custom wheels like this, I try and get the wheels on and try and envision how it's going to be for me to finish the job. And then that way I can let the customer know as soon as I can if it's going to be additional money rather than starting. And a lot of people will just do what they've said that they'll do, and then, you know, you'll pick your car up and they'll go, yep, cool, you owe me this X amount of money, but the car's no different. And then you'll be shitty about it, obviously. So I'd rather lose money than upset customers. So I thought I'd give them a couple options there. We can do a proper mini tub, slice the tub open and move it across, or we can just do a partial tub. He's ringing me back now, so I guess we'll figure out what he wants to do. That was an ultra quick 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, we'll do the mini tub thing. I'm gonna be spending about 70 grand on this thing anyway. So
yeah.
No worries, mate. Bye.
Wait, well, there you go. We're doing a mini tub on a VN. So this will be 2 videos now. So today, I guess which you'll see before this even comes out, I'm gonna get into that VE Clubby. I'll put this car back together, and I'll get into that VE Clubby because that means I can get that done for him today, and then I'll jump back onto this VN. So I'm actually getting a hoist put into this shop on Wednesday, another hoist, second hoist. So I'm going to do as much as I can on that. Then I'll try and get maybe the tubs cut out today. It's going to be a bit of a tedious job because you've got to be super careful when you're cutting any sort of steel out of a car. You've got to make sure the car's supported, it's sitting right, especially if it's on a hoist. You're not going to cut it, it's going to put pressure and move something. So yeah, I'll have to get my head around that, make sure that I cut them out properly. If I can get the tubs cut out today, I can get it all cleaned up. I'll work on it Wednesday. Hopefully the hoist gets installed mid-morning. with any luck, and I can work on it all Wednesday, and then I'll have another full day on it, and then he can pick it up next weekend. But that'll actually be a cool video for you guys. So mini-tubbing a VN Commodore is what this video that you're seeing is, but it's grown from what it originally was going to be, which was just doing some guard rolling. So this VN has had a new steering rack put in it, or new tie rod ends put in it, and they haven't adjusted them right. Or maybe he put them in and then did the coilovers, and now because the car's been changed, it's thrown the wheels out. So I'm just going to do these up by eye, because it's incredibly hard to push this car because the wheels are actually facing out like that. But yeah, so all you got to do is just loosen off this nut, and then just wind the tie rods back into the tie rod end, and then we'll get a good by eye, and you'll have to get a wheel alignment at some point, but at least it'll be pushable for now. So from here, you want to find, we're going to shorten it up to the rail. So I'm going to measure along here on this side and find out what the smallest gap is, the smallest gap of here. And then whatever that is what I'll shorten this in the whole way. So then you just follow the line around that you've already cut. And so, let's for argument's sake say this is 25 mil, which is what I'm hoping it is. Then we could follow the line around on that exact same angle and cut off 25 mil. And then we just cut back straight there. And then that way we just place the guard back in a little bit further, weld it back in, and then we've got that 25 mil clearance. Because you don't want to go, if we go cutting out this frame, then we need to build a chassis for this car, because that's its subframe. So we don't want to go cutting that. And then the same goes for this side. So we'll find out the smallest bit, which will be about here, and then we'll cut it to suit. Looks quite scary with all the guard cut out, especially on such a nice car. Well, this would be the sort of time when a customer would message you and say, oh, I've changed my mind, mate, I think we'll just go with the guard rolling. And I'd be like, shit. Well, I guess we can glue it back in. Anyway, let's get back into it.
Forget everything that you thought you knew. I do things better, you know I do. The rhythm I have can't escape it. Baby, don't fight it, embrace it. De la cabeza a los pies, el ritmo te mueve otra vez. Suena tambor, así es mejor. Deja esa timidez. Don't fight it, just do it. You like me cause I move it. Everything you want gonna come full swing. I just need you to do one thing. Muévelo. Feeling the euphoria. Y el ritmo sigue subiendo. Ya tú sabes lo que estoy haciendo.
Man, have a look at the hair on it. I just wanted to say, I don't know what it is about working on cars. Like, I might not be the best fabricator or car builder in the world, but when I'm in here and I'm just by myself doing my thing, especially at night time, I just feel so peaceful. And I don't know why the nighttime thing matters, but maybe I'm just a bit more of a night owl. But I love being in here just working on cars, whether it's my car or customers' cars, whatever. But yeah, when I'm just by myself, just in my own thoughts and stuff, I just have moments like before, and I'm just sitting there going, man, I'm just so grateful to be where I am and have the things that I have, and be able to do what I do. And I really, really appreciate you guys paying me to work on your cars, so that I can create content for you guys to watch, which is really cool. I think that's awesome. But yeah, anyway, let's just get back into the video.
Sigue el tiempo y yo te doy lo que sigues pidiendo. Don't fight it, just do it. You like me cause I move it. Everything you want gonna come full swing. I just need you to do one thing. Muévelo. Move it. Move it. Muévelo. Move it. Muévelo. I like it when you move it. Just move it. Move it. Just move it. Move it. Muévelo. Just move it. Move it. Just move it. Move it. Just move it. Move it. Just move it. Move it.
Alright guys, so I've just had a new hoist installed in the shed. So it's been a bit of a muck around morning because I was working on the VN a bit outside, trying to get stuff done so I wasn't losing any time because I don't have any time to lose. But yeah, look how cool that is. So I've got the second hoist, the first hoist up the front here, and now I've got another one down the back, so I can take on even more projects. And I've got another little secret in store. Something's going on, but you'll have to find out in another video. Yeah, no, I can't tell you yet. So yeah, keep an eye on the videos. But yeah, I've just got the new hoist installed. We just chucked the van up on the new hoist, and yeah, now I'm going to start grinding all the welds and seam sealing and getting this ready to finish up. I test fitted the wheels; they fit really well. I had one little bit that I had to cut out, just behind the behind the passenger wheel. There was a little bit there that I had to just trim out. So I've trimmed that now. Now I'm just going to grind back all my welds and yeah, then get to seam sealing. I've got those little plates that I made up when I was outside. Yeah, I've made them up. So those need to be welded in. So I'm just going to grind inside the guards, and then I'll put the car down, weld those in, grind everything else, and then start seam sealing and work my way back around. Then that'll need to dry. I don't think I can paint that straight away. I'll have a look. Yeah, and then we'll get it painted, and then it's back together, and it's pretty much done. So yeah, anyway, let's get back into it. Now it might seem like I've just slapped this sealant on, and I'll show you what sealant I've used, but you kind of have. But if you haven't used stone guard before, all this is going to get stone guarded. So if you haven't used stone guard before, you wouldn't know how thick this stuff goes on. So having it a bit rough is not going to matter. If there's a few like larger edges or whatever, I'll just get the Stanley blade and cut them off before we stone guard it. But it's not worth spending the time going crazy when you're doing that, because yeah, you're going to stone guard over the top of it, and that stuff's a couple mil thick anyway. But yeah, all we're doing with sealing that up, just like they do factory, just stops there being any water being able to get between your welds and whatnot. Yeah, that way it's just all sealed up. You're not going to have any rust and stuff like that. Stop sweating between the metal and things like that. So anyway, I'll show you the sealant that I've used. It's a multifunction seam sealant. It was $38 a tube. That I've nearly used 2 tubes, but I'm pretty happy with how everything's come up. There's a few spots that were a little bit hard to join back together, just because once you cut out the tub and then move it back, it's not exactly going to line up perfect like it did before, but made it work, come up mint. It was really hard to film this, so I'm sorry if the footage doesn't show a lot of exactly what I was doing. It's not what I want. I actually wanted to, but yeah, I'm sorry if the footage doesn't show exactly how I've done this step by step. I wanted to do like a step by step mini tub video, but I've been on a bloody mission. I've got that much work on at the moment. B, a bit of a mission to film, because just because you're in the guard, it's not like I can, if I had like maybe a little face camera or whatever, but if I put this camera that close to the stuff that I'm welding and cutting and grinding and stuff, it would just ruin the camera. So I hope, I haven't obviously seen this video because I'm still videoing it, but I'm hoping it comes up good enough and you guys are happy with it, and it shows you roughly what you do to mini-tub a car. As you can see, we cut right along there, all the way along, both sides, and then cut it all the way along here. And then we cut out the section that was in between that two off that side. So there was a section strip that ran across in here. So we just moved everything across like that and then stitched it all back together. I'll stone guard this tomorrow once the sealant has dried, and I'll just clean up like little bits like this. Not gonna bother trying to do it while it's wet. Yeah, and then it'll look Mickey Mouse. Yeah, I think it's come up well. You could definitely go further with the procedure of doing it. You know, it's always more steps to doing something like this, but I think for what we're trying to achieve here, what was done is perfect. You also got to factor in people's budgets when you're doing stuff like this. What this bloke wants, once it's stone guarded up, no one's gonna know. Best thing is, honestly, if I didn't show you guys this car and you guys seen it laying around, you wouldn't even think that I'd mini tub this. You'd have to really, really know what you were looking for. And that's why I do like doing it the way that I've done it, because it, by the time you stone guard that, it just looks factory. And before anyone carries on about me putting that silicone on thick, look how thick they put this stuff on factory. Look at that, nearly an inch thick through that whole thing. It's like 2 fingers. So yeah, that's how thick they put it on factory to make things look good, so I'm allowed to do the same. I'd be lucky to have put mine a couple mil thick. That's like 20 mil thick. So don't be talking shit on my video. This looks good. I'm happy with it. Customer's gonna be stoked. He's got the clearance he needs. He can roll whatever, full mate, carload, all his mates, all the things, and smash it out. So anyway, this video is gonna pause for me. For you guys, I'm about to stone guard this, but I'm gonna be doing that tomorrow. Just started to do the stone guard, and guess what? I forgot to buy more of stone guard. So I had like half a can here, so I've barely done one guard. So I'm gonna go for a drive in the mini trucks. And it's a beautiful day outside. It's actually, I'm not even sad about it. Take the mini truck for a drive, go get some more, come back and get into it. As you can see though, even with one coat, it's already covered up pretty well. Like I'll do 2, maybe even 3 coats. Anyway, let's go take my mini truck for a cruise. This stuff's meant to be a lot better than the stuff I was using, and I thought the stuff I was using was good, so we'll see. Alright, so use my finger a lot lately, I don't know what that's about. Anyway, the VN's pretty much done. I've sent the owner pictures of the job. He's really happy. The only thing I did notice is that the tyres are hitting the battery tray at the front, so I've just told him that I can do it. It's another extra cost though. But yes, I'm just trying to find out whether he wants me to do that or not, because the only problem is he's just got the bay painted, so maybe he might put the fronts to 20s, but I think he'll want to keep it if he's got 22s on there. He's obviously bought them, probably wants to have that look. Yeah, so that's going to be on the standstill just for a little bit anyway, regardless of that, because I've got to jump off that car while all the deadener and paint dries and stuff, because I don't want to be cutting or grinding when there's fresh paint. You know, the fumes and stuff could light on fire. So what I'm going to do is, Holden just sent me a message. I've been waiting on a few parts to finish this car that I already paid for about a month ago, maybe longer, and so I ended up just going to Holden this morning and just biting the bullet and ordering genuine stuff, and I'll just have to figure out what to do with the other stuff, whether I just put it on the shelf or whatever, because it's just taken ages to get here. I don't know what's going on. It's just it's doing my head in, and it's so close to being back running and driving that car. I did have some problems last night. I got frustrated and put the camera away. Probably should have filmed it, you know, mainly for to back me up really, but everything that I've done on that car, someone's done it before and just fucked it. And I pulled the spark plugs out, and I did 6 of them, and then got to the 7th one, and I pulled it out and went, it didn't feel good coming out, because like once you've cracked it, it should just spin out, and it come out. I had to ratchet it the whole way out, and then I looked in the hole, and the hole was just fucked. So I spent about half an hour just trying to thread the hole really gently, because obviously you can't put a tap in there because you're going to push metal into the motor. So I just put some lubricant on an old spark plug and just went in and out a few times until I could get it right, and then put the new spark plug in there. But there was that last, you know, there's always that thing in your head, and I just thought, you know, you nearly want to stop the job right there and just call it, but you can't just do that dev run. If something's going to work and be fine, you know, you can't just keep pulling money out. You kind of got to find a happy medium with some stuff. Fortunately, when you're working on engines that are 20 years old, multiple people would have touched them, and people don't know what they're doing. And especially in the LS motors, you find the driver side spark plugs where the booster are, which is what happened here. When people replace them, especially when they've got big extractors like this thing's got on it, they don't put them in right, and they just send them in there. But yeah, once you've done that, you're in big strife. But anyway, so hopefully that's fine. So I'm really keen to get that running so that I can find out, you know, if we're cool or we're not cool, because like I really do need to know that. But regardless, at least everything else will be done, because I'm pretty sure I've done that nearly the whole list on that car. I'll have to double check upstairs the list and just see where we're sitting at with it, but I reckon that car's very close to being done. Right, so been given the green light to chop apart this, you guys can see in here, chop apart this freshly painted engine bay, because we've got 22s that don't fit, and we need them to fit. So yeah, I was slicing it from underneath, but basically I've got to cut along that line there, the whole way, then chop about 10 mil out of here. I'd say I need to do an actual measurement on that. And then I might end up having to cut down here as well to pull out stress lines. But yeah, I've got to pull that out and then pull it back, and hopefully it'll just pull back and I can weld it back up so it doesn't fuck this up. It's going to fuck the paint anyway, but yeah, I might be able to just chop it and push it back and weld it. But worst case scenario, I'll have to pull this back in, which means I might have to cut some lines up here just to relieve the pressure of the metal so that it'll flex back in and then weld them up. Yeah, it seems like a shame seeing as this bay's just been painted, but he probably got it painted when the car was in there because he thought I'll just give it a freshen up anyway. So hopefully that was the case, and he's not too worried about it being chopped up, because he has given me the green light and I'm going to make it happen. The other thing is the 22s just hit on this line here, so I'm going to give that a bit of loving with a hammer on both sides and then stone guard that. We thought about cutting it and putting it back and welding it, but it really doesn't need that much. It's just touching on like a full lock, so I think we'll just give it some love taps and then stone guard it, and no one will ever know. At the end of the day, Holden leave fucking things like this, we don't have to worry about it. That's what we're doing on here. You know, hour or two aside, just finessing this. You know, it's funny because it's like, just seems like I'm bolting it with a hammer, but you're using, like, I've got all my different hammers. Like the one I'm using this one here, and then my finishing hammer, because you could just bolt the fuck out of it, but I want it to look nice, you know. So I'm trying to keep these curves as they're looking, and I've purposely folded this the way that I folded, rather than it fold it up and then it creases in. I've whacked that line down, which has made that line here, which by the time I deaden that, it'll look factory. So you got to think about that sort of stuff. I could have punched that line up and in because it was out, sort of like out here. That makes sense. Could have punched it in, but it's always going to look weird. Whereas I was working it down, so that way it creates that fold, and then that gives it a clearance that we need for the wheel. So yeah, I've cut the slit down here, and I cut out about 10 mil, and I cut out about 10 mil below, and then I just took some stress cuts out, just so the metal would fold, and I've pulled it all in, so it's coming about, I don't know, about 15 mil here, and about 10 mil over there, which should give me enough for these 22s to clear. But before I go weld it all up, I'm just going to chuck it on and test fit it. the sexy hair. That's a wrap with this VN. So yeah, I've done the battery tray, I've modified behind both front wheels, I've done the mini tubs at the rear, and I actually ended up throwing in, I haven't told him about, couldn't be bothered, got his fuel tank out to do the tubs, so I put new breather hoses and stuff on it for him. Kind of made my job easier, because the standard ones, if any of you guys know, I'm not sure about the earlier models, but definitely VN to VS, the drop tanks or just standard fuel tanks, there's like a hard line that goes breather pipe, and it's a pain in the ass to get on, so I always just replace it so that we can thread it through as you put the tank up. But yeah, so it's kind of cool, looks really good. The engine bay, I would have liked to have put a high fill primer and then sanded it back and then put some paint on it, but I just don't have the time, so I've just done that for him. He might go and he's got to take it back to the painters to touch a few things up, so they might end up finishing that up and making it look a bit prettier if I had more time. And yeah, that I could have done it myself, but I think he'll be happy. He's got his wheels on there, he can drive around wherever he wants, and hopefully no scrubbing. So it's got about 20mm clearance at any point all around at this height. So the only problem I did see is the back left tub. The back right tub's a lot bigger because you got the fuel tank cap, so it comes down differently, but the back left tub is round. But his diff, it must be just a factory thing, the diff's actually set back a little bit, so I think you can get a custom control arm, custom trailing arms for these things. It would be good to actually pull that diff forward 10mm, because then even if he went lower than it is, it'd still have plenty of clearance. But at the moment it's still got adequate clearance for what it has. As long as you have the coil, it's got coilovers in it, just have that shock set at a bit of a stiffer rating. Anyway, I'm hoping you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like, comment, subscribe, all the things, and I'll see you on the next one.